Welcome to the sequel of the Fright Fest series. Exactly 365 days before, on Friday, October 2nd, 2021, I went to my first Fright Fest. Now, 365 days later, on Saturday, October 22nd, I did it again. On Saturday, we managed to rope drop Great America, and it was my first rope drop ever to a park that I can remember. However, we didn't take into account that it was the busiest day of the year for Great America, and the park hit capacity multiple times. Luckily, we stood in a 20-minute line for my disability pass after realizing that Max Force was already an hour-long wait at 11:03 in the morning. With our disability pass, we managed to knock out Raging Bull, but the wait time in between pass uses was 90 minutes, which was ludicrous. Raging Bull was very underwhelming. I got maybe a moment of floater with the drop, but the ride was actually very tame and very disappointing. After that, we were still in the semi-back of the park, and Raging Bull was already at a 60-minute wait. However, people were still hesitant to rush to Giant Drop, so I managed to do 2 rides on Giant Drop, once by myself, and second, my friend joined me. Before the drop tower, we also got a ride on Terror Twister 2, A Turn for the Worst. After that, we waited in the Viper queue, which I've never seen over 15 minutes, foreshadowing, and got a row 4 ride on Viper. As always, Viper was amazing, with good flow ejector airtime, insane laterals, and a short queue to top it off. After that, we used my second disability pass on Superman. Superman, Ultimate Flight, and I have beef. That pretzel loop gave me a migraine last time, but by holding my head up for the pretzel loop, there was no pain. However, I did get the wind knocked out of me, couldn't breathe, and there was a very intense pressure on my torso. While my mom waited in line for Pizza Orleans near Dark Knight and Superman, we managed to ride Big Easy Balloons, which only took a 15-minute wait. Pizza Orleans was your average pizza place. Mediocre pizza, but like all theme park food, there's at least one hidden gem. The Pizza Orleans garlic knots. The garlic knots were amazing, and I am going to have them again. Up next, we used my disability pass on Goliath and got an amazing ride in row 10. It gave ejector airtime as always, the dive loop and stall were intense, and I got good airtime and laterals. Now, you could really see the lines getting long. Goliath averages a 60-minute line most days. When we got off, it was 140 minutes. Viper was 95. Remember how I said I never saw Viper with a 20-minute or more queue? That was until today. Now the park was packed, with kids enjoying Boo Fest, adults enjoying Oktoberfest, and teens and adults riding rides, stalling until Fright Fest. After Goliath, we went to Crazy Bus, where they kicked us off because we didn't have a kid. However, she let us on and saw us go into our own row, and was completely fine until I started recording. So we do know the true reason why we were kicked off of Crazy Bus. 0 out of 10 would not ride for the first time. However, we did manage to get on Sprocket Rockets, and I got some good footage of Goliath while in the queue. It was very fun. I managed to embarrass my friend by screaming at the top of my lungs as if this was a scary coaster, like if it was Daddy Pig's roller coaster or something. The better part, I did it on the chain lift and brakes. After stalling out, we managed to use my disability pass to get on the next coaster, American Eagle. Last year, we rode Red Side, which was the only side I rode until today. When a Thuzy Ride Op saw my Iron Gwazi merch and asked if we wanted a back row ride, and reserved the back row for us so we can easily get on. This was my second best ride on American Eagle ever. While the red side was more collected and compact, focusing on ejector, the blue side was more wild and longer, focusing on intensity. However, it still doesn't beat my night ride last year at Fright Fest on the red side. Then, we quite literally got scammed. If you didn't know, the motto of Fright Fest is no mercy after 6, or whenever it starts for you. However, we didn't know that, and people at X Gear sold us a light-up stick for $7, advertising it as a no-scare necklace to tell actors to stay away from you. Turns out other people bought it for $8, $15, and more. There isn't a no-scare necklace. Then, since my friend and I both had haunted attractions pass, we decided to do a haunted house, but she chickened out and refused. So, instead of doing Gates of Hell, the one I wanted to do, and passing by 13th Order, and then refusing to go after seeing Condemned was an inside-only haunted house, we went to get a dusk ride on Goliath. An even better ride this time, with more whip and stronger airtime. I'm willing to say that Goliath's Bunny Hill might be better than Iron Gwazi's Upward Airtime Hills, which is my current number 1 airtime moment. Then, we met back up with my mom, who didn't want to be scared, at the front of the park, and she suggested that we do a haunted house because we paid $40 each, and it would be a waste not to use them. My friend refused and chickened out again, Lamau, so I went alone to the Gates of Hell haunted house. I couldn't find a good POV, so it'll just be an incentive to go out there next Fright Fest and give it a walkthrough. After I came back from Gates of Hell, which was an amazing haunted house, I was convinced to use my next disability pass on a ride instead of a haunted house again. This time on Dark Knight Coaster, a mock Wild Mouse. I mean, it's a good ride, it's very solid, and intensely themed, especially for a Six Flags coaster. I know it was supposed to have sudden everything, with all of it being indoors and in the dark, but honestly, it's just a coaster in a box, and you can see everything, even all the spare parts and dumpsters on the floor. Sadly, Great America doesn't have a lot of picture aspects, and if they did, Dark Nights was still closed. However, we were given a strike of luck, and we were asked if we wanted to ride again. I still don't understand how it happened. There was a 150-minute line for a Wild Mouse, and yet we still somehow managed to make it on a second rotation, so I'll take it. After Dark Night, my friend promised that we would go through every possible scare zone while walking down and stalling for my next pass. Immediately after, we hopped through the grass into Joker's exit to avoid a scare zone on a bridge. I didn't support the idea, but I wasn't really given an option. Then, since it was my first visit into 2022 to my home park, I finally got a ride on the rethemed DC Universe ride, DC Supervillain Swing, formerly Whirligig in Yankee Harbor. I even have a video explaining why Yankee Harbor should have never been rethemed. Watch it now. It's old but popular, so I have to live with it. Then we left, got Mod Pizza, and so our story closes. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Yes, I am at Fright Fest, and I'm recording this early, and I'm going to use this outro multiple times. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and see ya.